Okay, let's get ready for this night market. This is what I'm wearing because it is super hot and humid again. Um, in this dress, I love these like little shift shirt dresses. This one is thin. Um, it's thin enough. It's not see-through, but it's very cool. Like the material feels cooling. And it has pockets. Wearing my mom sandals because they're just comfortable and I don't want to be in sneakers all night. Um, and it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain. And I'm nervous. I'm so nervous about it raining, but it is what it is. These have grips on the bottom, so if we got to run to the car, your girl ain't gonna fall. So I'll see y'all outside. Yeah, no. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to jump in right now with this voiceover just to say that at this point, someone has arrived on the scene, and we all assume that this person is with the event. But what we will later find out is that she is not. She is not who we thought she was. And the reason that we had already started setting up is because the store manager inside of the market said that he was the person that we were supposed to see, and told us and another person that was outside, y'all can kind of set up wherever you want. So when my husband says there's somebody telling everybody like where to go, I'm like, nope, we're not moving. We're not moving. So that was the exasperated look on my face. Stick around, it gets better. Hey y'all, so I'm popping in again to just kind of talk about the thought process behind setup. So for any market, depending on how long the market is, you could have from like 1 to 2 hours ahead of the market to use for your setup. And so for us, because we didn't really know, what the venue was like and kind of the surface that we would be set up on, my husband's rule of thumb is that we always have kind of a default layout that we'll use at markets, especially if they're unfamiliar to us. And so the L shape is perfect for us to be able to do that. It's easy to set up. We don't need as much equipment and kind of decorative pieces using the L shape. Things that we will still do is you see here I don't have all 3 walls up, but I still need to be able to define my space. I want kind of that experience that you're going into a sticks and bricks, and I've probably said that before, and so I keep in our decorative arsenal, I have kind of this fabric that I use just to kind of drape and just help to subtly define the space without closing it in with our sidewalls. And then the other thing is I don't like using the tablecloths that you hook underneath the table legs. I don't really like that look. It looks very I feel like that is trade show. It looks very trade show to me. And I like the idea of having different textures and prints and things like that. So what I do is I have 4 tablecloths, just regular dining room tablecloths. And I use 2 tablecloths per 6-foot table. And then on my 4-foot table, when we do the U shape, in that 4-foot table, I'm using it as my checkout station. I have 2 separate tablecloths that I use for that. So we bring with us anywhere from 6 to 8 different tablecloths, and I also have different fabrics that we have with us as well. It probably seems like a lot, but those things aren't heavy, and they serve they do double duty, right? They make sure that things are cushioned inside of the totes that we bring, so things aren't sliding around and things don't break. So they serve double duty. But I highly recommend that unless the market specifically requires you to use certain types of table coverings, or they provide table coverings for you at a market, that you really kind of personalize your booth with table coverings that represent you and the products that you're selling. And again, I can talk about these types of things in a separate video if you guys are interested in that. But I like to layer our table coverings. I like to also have some sort of interest when you look beyond the table, like this lampshade that I have. And then since this is a night market, I also wanted to illuminate our space a little bit, even though you'll see later on in this video, honey, that we did not stay. We did not stay long enough to illuminate our booth. But just, I want to create some visual interest with everything that we have within the space. So again, from a setup perspective, if you are unsure what the venue is going to look like, and you know that you've got, so much space to work with, we've got a 10 by 10 tent. So we know how much space we can function with underneath the tent itself. But if I don't know what kind of surface we're going to be on, like we were on a paved sidewalk. And it was really hot, so we probably should have set up on the turf, but again, we just didn't know. We didn't know at the time. But this L shape works great for us. It works great when you don't know what you're going to be dealing with. And we've used the setup a number of times, so we know kind of how we would want to set the table up. Pretty simple. So a good rule of thumb is just to have have a setup that you will always use and it will work well kind of in any situation. And then you can get a little more creative when you're comfortable and you know where you're going. Okay, so this is our final setup for this space. So as you see, it's super open. Like, they're even doing construction across the street. What? But it's downtown. It's at like an open air eating restaurant type place. So this is what we came up with. A good rule of thumb for us is when we are not familiar with the location that we stick to the L shape. Yeah, we stick to our L shape just because it's easier, and we always have a backup plan. One thing I did differently is I kind of stacked the smaller crates on top so I could maximize on my vertical space. But yeah. So this is what we're doing today. There's my hubby. We went with 2 sides again, but it's perfectly fine this time. It doesn't mess with me because she doesn't have a lot of stuff hanging in her booth. I'm so happy that I was able to fix my I'm so happy that I was able to fix my chandelier. All I did was I ended up knotting it and putting one of those S hooks that we have in there. So and since I don't have my 4-foot table, we normally have 3 tables. We have 2 6 and a 4. Our 4 is my checkout station when we have the U shape. But because we don't have the 4, that small crate is what I'll use for checkout. And I did not kind of re-up on notepads and desk pads and things, so this is what I have left over from the last market. So, and then even though we're on pavers, I'm still using the rug. So there's not a lot of vendors out here, y'all. And look at the sky. It's projected to rain. That's the only reason we put our other wall up, because we're worried that it's gonna rain. So yeah, these are just, so there's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 vendors here. So not much going on, but I'm hoping the ROI on this market is good. We'll talk about all that later, but yeah, this is the location. It's called Urban District Market. So there's lots of food places. Like there's a soul food meat company place, and then there's like a whole Asian market inside of the Urban District Market. And then we're like in the heart of, this is considered NODA, the North Davidson district, but you could see like the city skyline over there. So yeah, so that's what we're working with today, y'all. Pray that there's no rain. I know y'all won't see this until I actually post it. I'm praying for all of us. But the cloud cover, y'all, has literally saved us because 10 minutes ago it was so hot. So, okay. So, thankfully we have some cloud cover and it's cooled off. So, we'll see. Again, this is the new market. I've never been here. I've actually never worked with this event team. So, I'm hopeful, and I'm 60% optimistic. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. All right, guys, so I'm popping in again. This is one of the vendors that was there on site that day, and she was actually new to vending, so this was her very first event. Her company is called T's Divine Creations, and she makes like herbal mixes for yoni steam pots. And if you're familiar with yoni steam pots, then you'll know what that is. She also had some incense, and it really had the entire area smelling really good. So I tried to get close enough for her QR code, but follow her on Instagram. I think she's only on Instagram right now, but she is T's Divine Creation, and her name is also on the screen, but her product smelled really, really good. About these are so cute.
Thanks. So I'm like a little traveling apothecary and vintage jewelry shop.
Oh, I love that.
I make teas and candles and intention kits on that side.
I love.
And then I do
teas.
tarot readings as well.
Ah. Get your QR. Oh wow, bath salts and things.
I got bath salts, tea baths, milk baths. They're really popular. And like I said, I got teas here, and then my teas are. We've got teas for anxiety, stress, mood movers, anti-inflammatory tea.
Wow.
So a little bit of everything, and I also have like teas that are for like harvesting like full moon energy or new moon energy. So I have, it's all like medicinally and also like magically intention in there. So
I love that.
I can tell you a little bit of both. Well, I went to school for herbalism, but I started off with finding the intentions of things, and then I led me to like a herbal school. So I combined that. So I was like, so that kind of tied everything else in. And I've always like did my antique stuff, but just decided to combine everything.
Yeah.
It's been working out.
So do you like go to different like antique shops or like different like, estate sales and things?
Yep, estate sales is a good one. And then I just moved out here from Colorado, so a lot of my stuff I got when I used to do shopping out there. But yeah, I love finding a good bargain. Also like Goodwills and art. I don't think we have ARC out here, but Goodwills are good because sometimes you can find like real silver jewelry there, and they don't even know it's silver. So it's always good to take a peek.
Yeah.
And follow that intuition, because if it looks like, I think it's like the crazier the case.
Yeah.
There's something in there. So like I'm one of those people that like I'm gonna pull everything out of this bin. I want
to see what's in there.
And I found some good stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I love the thrill of a nice little hunt.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
So, tell me your social.
So my social is Batty Bapkins Factory, and I also have Batty's Curiosity, which is my vintage stuff.
I love
vintage
that.
Jewelry.
Awesome. All right, y'all. So you definitely follow her, and I have her QR code in here for your Instagram.
Yes.
Yep. For her Instagram, and it's right here. All right. Beautiful finds. I love that. Thank you. You make all of your candles and wax melts? Very nice.
Thank you.
All right, and these are her QR codes for Instagram and TikTok. Trimedandburningco.com. Awesome. So, do you want to share a little bit about Trimmed and Burning?
Yeah, so it kind of started as a hobby.
Okay.
And it's really grown into something quite massive. We started with just the freshies, actually. And then we have our candles, our hand soap, room spray, and so much more that I didn't have room to put on the table. So,
Yeah.
all made by hand in small batches.
I love it, and you can smell it over here. It smells really good. These wax melts, this looks like candy.
Which one is that? The Fruit Loops one? Or, yeah, Fruit Loops.
Yeah, they look like. I love these. And these also, the pumpkin ones, they look like. They either look like candy or I'm kind of big backish. You know. You can definitely smell some of the fragrances, so I love that. And these are room sprays.
Those are room sprays, yeah. You can use them, around the house, but you can also use them like in the car too.
Awesome. And do you ship
I do.
all over the United States?
All over.
Canada?
I haven't had an order from Canada, but I would love to.
She hasn't had an order from Canada, y'all. Get on it. Thank you.
I've designed these jackets. I came up with the design, we the manufacturer, but yeah, the brand name is New World Code.
Okay.
It was inspired by my testimony with Jesus Christ and how he's, turned my life around for the better. So
Yeah.
It's just about spreading the gospel, spreading the good news, and everything like that. This collection specifically is called New by Christ, and the new here is an acronym standing for Never Ending Wonders by Christ.
I love that.
Yeah, so this is us.
I love it. Do you guys have social media?
Yes, we do. We do.
Do you have a card or a QR?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Awesome. That's their QR code. And you can get to their Instagram. And your website is linked to this as well? And their website. And it's New World Co.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that.
Thank you.
Saved by Grace. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. That's awesome.
appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have you been saved?
I've been saved going on for 2.5 years now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And his jackets, these varsity jackets are gorgeous, y'all. And the scripture is, therefore, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creature. All things are passed away, and behold, all things become new.
Also,
All right.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with Essence, the magazine, but we were also featured on Essence recently on the social media page, Instagram.
Oh,
you can view
wow.
it on our Instagram here in our tag session.
Oh, that's
Essence
dope.
featured.
Guys, they were featured in Essence on their digital mag or in their
Digital
physical. Mag. They were featured in the digital mag and Essence magazine. That is awesome. So definitely check out their Instagram because we love when young people do big things, especially when they do big things for God. Thank you. Okay, so tell me about your products.
Yes, so,
Makeup by Joanna.
Yes, so I'm Johanna. I'm a makeup artist for over 10 years, and I started my own cosmetic line 2 years ago. So my cosmetic line is called JV's Cosmetics.
Okay.
Started it because I was a manager of Sephora, and when I started telling people I was leaving, they wanted to know how can I stay in touch with you. When I started doing makeup, they're like, well, how do I do this lip combo, or how do I treat my skin? And the biggest thing that I found was there's a disconnect from a price point perspective. So I was like, okay, so how can I still give people what they want, stop breaking the bank, and it's vegan and cruelty free. So that's why I started my line. We have any and everything you can think of. I teach classes.
Yeah.
Everything. My store is online, but my studio is in Winston-Salem, and I still do travel.
Okay. These are all of her QR codes, guys. Do you ship?
Yes, I ship. You go straight to my website. It's free shipping in the Triad, and I ship everywhere.
Okay. So free shipping in the Triad, the Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Winston.
Greensboro.
I love this. So if you guys love makeup for skin of color that has a good pigment. These
Yes.
colors are
Absolutely,
beautiful.
yes. You definitely can go to my Instagram. I do videos, tutorials all the time showing all products. I came out here with a full face, but it was so hot.
It melted away.
It was trying to, and I was fighting it, and then I put up some makeup wipes, and I was like, yeah, I'm not playing with this. So,
Listen, yeah.
I was like, wipe it off.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, even if you're not into like the color or as foundation, all of that, skincare is always your best way to start.
Yes.
When you feel confident within your skin, everything else is just in the hands.
I agree. All right, and so this is Joanna. She's a makeup artist
Yes.
and an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So we love small businesses. We love people with big dreams and even bigger ideas. So check her out online, y'all. Again, here's her QR. And then here is
Yeah, that'll give you my Instagram.
Instagram, and then how to pay. And she ships all over the United States.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about you and your business and how you got started.
This is my very first show ever.
Okay.
So I just started this business like a month ago and getting everything together. So this is my first show here. I have charms where you can choose kind of like a build your own jewelry type thing.
Yes.
I sell necklaces and bracelets, and the purchase of either one comes with 3 charms for free.
Very nice.
I can either attach them on like this, or we can make them removable like that if you want to kind of switch up your look.
We love a charm bar.
Absolutely.
It's become like the newest jewelry craze, I feel like.
Yeah, and I tried to get something for everyone. You know, I've got a good mixture here.
Yep.
Now, when I was in middle school, I did theater, and I found a charm like this at a charm bar, and I
love
wore
that.
it every day through middle school and high
Yes.
school, and so that kind of was my inspiration. I want to be able to, be that charm bar that somebody sees a charm and goes, "That's so me. I love that."
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the variety. And so do you ship?
I do not. No, I don't sell online yet. That's something eventually I want to do down the line. Right now, just because it's such an interactive
Yep.
type of experience where you pick your own charms here, it'd be a
Yes.
little bit complicated trying to do that online, but I'll figure out a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Nope.
some here pre-made too, so I may do something like that online later.
Yeah.
Sell some pre-made designs like
Yeah.
this. There's a Pride event next week in
Yes.
Charlotte as well, so I've got some Pride charms and Pride
Yes.
necklaces and bracelets already pre-made.
Do you have a social media?
I do. I have Instagram and TikTok. It's just at Recuerdo Lane. I post in English and Spanish. My husband's from Nicaragua, so I speak both and want to be able to cater to people who speak both languages.
Awesome. So, y'all, I hope you can see this. She posts in English and in Spanish.
It's kind of like memory lane in Spanish, and Recuerdo is like something that you have like to remember something by. So it's kind of a bilingual business name. So,
I love that.
Yeah, kind of a mix of the two cultures.
I love it. You have very beautiful charms.
Thank you.
And she is a new business owner, so congratulations on your endeavor. And we wish you absolute success and more markets, and you're shipping all over the country and beyond.
Speak it into existence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This market has not met expectations. However, I did want to show y'all that what our lighting would have looked like. It's super cute. So we bought these rechargeable light bulbs, and so my chandelier finally has a light in it, and it looks so cute. This is literally the highlight of the entire market. We had one sale. And I thought people were gonna show up, and they did. They brought their kids to watch the movie that's playing. So Anyway, I'm not mad. I knew the risk. I don't know this market. I don't really know this coordinator. So our setup was super cute though. I was very happy with it as a alternative to our usual U shape. Y'all, I love the light. It's so cute. So that's me finding joy. The one sale that we had took care of the fee, and so the return on investment was 100%. We made 85 cents as income today. So there you have it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you take an L, and sometimes you take an L, you end up with a really gorgeous light fixture in your tent. So, all right, I will come back with my final thoughts. Y'all already know what my final thoughts are, but I'll close this vlog out officially. I did talk with some of the vendors that were out here and got their stories, so I think that's going to be a highlight of this vlog. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all, welcome back to another video. So these are my final thoughts on this market. I don't even know. I want to say I don't know where to begin, but I do. I really do. So for context, I have been, and I may have said this in a previous video, but I have been trying to, I really just been testing out different markets in the area, working with, just trying to see if I wanted to add some kind of, maybe some variety to the types of markets that we do. And I still have one more market that is new to us. And there are some vendors that I know that are actually planning to be part of that market. So, and it's another night market too. I've never done night markets until now. So I wanted to test. I just wanted to test it out and see if, I would like it, if it's something that I might consider doing in the future. More consistently. So that's how we got here. That's how we ended up working with this particular host team. And I'm using the word team loosely, right? Because there was no team. As you saw in the video, when we arrived to the venue, there was no one outside. There was no signage, and those are the immediate flags. And the cost of the fee was just $40. Depending on where you are in your market journey, $40 may be steep and it may not be. For us, $40 is, it's a good number. And I don't typically do a lot of markets that are 50 and under. We have one, and it's about $75. It's $50 to $75 depending on where you're positioned, what location they set you up in. But for the most part, we tend to, most of the markets that we are really successful at, those markets are a higher price point. But the ROI, the return on investment, is always good. So I wanted to try and do some different markets, different venues, and different parts of town that, because the Charlotte area is big. I don't live in the city, but the footprint of Charlotte Metro is expansive. So you could really do a market in a different part of town, and it's a completely different audience. And it's like a day vacation for you because you've never been over there before. So that's what the situation was. We arrived to the venue. There's nobody there. No one from the venue, and the kind of outdoor space was relatively empty. There weren't a lot of people, outside eating, listening to music. There just wasn't a lot happening. It is a Friday night. We were there maybe 3:45. And so my immediate response is people are probably still at work. And if this is kind of a family gathering place, we later found out that they were going to be showing a Disney movie. And so my immediate thoughts were, people probably need to leave the office, get through traffic, get home, get the kids, change their clothes, whatever, and then get here. So I wasn't heavily tripping. We go inside and I'm asking one of the ladies at the bar, like, do you know anything about this market? She says, yes. And I know who you're supposed to talk to. Let me call my manager. The guy comes out and says, oh, yeah, I'm the person that you're supposed to talk to. Vendors usually set up right outside of the building or, anywhere that they want to. Okay, so we go set up on the pavers, which probably wasn't the best idea because it was so hot. We probably should have set up somewhere else, but that's where we set up. Right in the front, me thinking that's where all the traffic's going to be. Vendors are showing up, unloading, also looking for instruction. There's nobody there. So we're just kind of regurgitating the same information that we've received. You can kind of set up wherever. So we're going to set up here. People are just picking spots. Then someone shows up who was the person that was set up right next to us. She shows up and she's telling people where they can set up. So at that point, I'm like, oh, I thought the other person was the person that was telling people where to set up. And so my husband overhears her saying, oh yeah, you can set up blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of the look on my face, like, we not moving, because what? Who are you? No one introduced themselves to us or to anybody. I think it was just kind of walking up and people were looking around. So at one point in the day, someone actually asked, one of the vendors asked another vendor, like, hey, I'm here to set up. Do we check in anywhere? And they pointed to the woman in the floral skirt. I don't even think I got her name. Maybe I got it when I was interviewing and just kind of meeting the vendors, but I don't remember at this moment. But she's kind of helping people get set up or know where to go, not because she was one of the hosts, but because she had vended with them before. So she kind of was familiar with the lay of the land. I would say an hour into the day, my husband said that there was another person that was the actual host and came and was handing out information and, said, we love your setup, or I love your setup. I hope you guys vend with us again. I hope you guys come back. But then she left. And she never came back. This event was over at 9 p.m. I think about 8:15ish, 8:30ish, I don't know. We were packing up to leave. I actually saw one of the vendors packing up before us, and I felt like we were packing up soon. Would I vend with them again? No, I would not. We had one sale. The vendor fee was $40. Our sale was $40.85. So we made 85 cents that day. I am less, I honestly, I can't even say I'm upset. I'm not upset one way or another. I don't think my time was wasted or I wasted money. I knew the risk going with a vendor that I was just completely unfamiliar with, and that none of my fellow vendors that I'm used to kind of communicating with, none of them knew anything about their events. For promotion, they really show a lot of videos and testimonials and things like that. So I did my due diligence in looking into how are they sharing information about this market. What I did not realize until after the fact is that they also have a heavier presence in Atlanta, I'm assuming, or in that Atlanta area. And so most of the videos that they would show about the success of their markets was not from this area. It was from Atlanta. The lesson learned for me, and maybe not even the lesson learned, but more of a reminder to myself, is when I'm testing new markets, that I should also look for some familiar faces as far as like other vendors that are participating in the markets. So after the market, I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, how was that market? Because I always thought they were a fake company. They're not a fake company, but I'm assuming they just don't have enough presence in this area to really pull off a successful market. Urban District Market itself is a separate entity, is unrelated to this. And so they do a lot of, I'm assuming, market collaborations, because when you go inside, they have like, flyers and stuff set up about, their upcoming events. And because I actually signed up for another event at the same venue with another host that I am familiar with, and I know people who actually vend with them and they've done well, and we did an event with them once before. So I go back to my previous rant and my gut. I think that host should do kind of an aftermarket survey or collect some kind of information so that vendors have a really true picture. Because again, for this particular market, I saw it and I watched their reels and stuff for a couple of weeks, and I watched people in the comments, and I thought I was scrubbing their page. How I did not recognize that most of their stuff that they were talking about was in Atlanta is just a miss on my part. And for as long as I've been doing this, the L belongs to me. But again, I think it's really important to be able to see, what are the vendors saying about you as a host and the events that you put on. Again, I'm not mad because I knew that there was a risk, but because the fee was so low, and we ended up going to kind of the Korean soul food restaurant, and I'm very happy because the food was like really good. So there were like 7 vendors, and there was not a lot going on. I did not see a lot of people shopping. There was a lady there doing face painting with little kids. I didn't include those clips in the video because the audio was a little off. She did great. Like, her face painting was like $10 a pop. She said she did like 10 little kids and she wanted to stay later doing face painting. I don't know if she did stay later or not, but people were there later in the evening, as I thought, right, with their families, going to have dinner and then watching this movie, a Disney movie, out on the lawn. Nobody was checking for the vendors. People didn't even know why the vendors were there. So again, I think for a lot of hosts, there is a disconnect when you talk about, you're using the fees to market, but you're also wanting the vendors to market. Listen, vendors should let their audience know kind of what events they're doing and invite them to come out. However, the event should be able to be self-sustaining without the vendors. Because me as a vendor, if I don't show up to your event, you as an event host should still be marketing for people to show up to your event, if that makes sense. You having an event, people should still be coming because you're marketing. That's what you're collecting the fee for. And if that's not what you're collecting the fee for, then you need to stop saying that that's what you're collecting the fee for. But the vendor fee, a portion of that fee, is part of the marketing. That's what all the hosts always say. All the event teams always say, that this fee is the reason it's non-refundable is because we've already paid for the marketing. I really want to know what you're paying for. And are you getting what you're paying for? Or are you just putting out some Instagram reels and using your Instagram stories? Like, is that the only thing that you're doing to promote? Because that's free. unless you're boosting a post, but you're not boosting a post. If I click on it and it doesn't tell me sponsored, shop now, learn more, any of that stuff, you're not. So you're using free marketing tools and you're really not getting the marketing, you're not getting the marketing results. So I don't anticipate that we would work with this vendor again. Just given the fact that they didn't attract attendees to their own event. If I have customers that are going to shop with me and they like shopping with me at in-person events, 9 times out of 10 they like shopping with me at an event they found me at. So if I'm a repeat vendor at certain events, those customers are more likely to show up at those events that I frequent often, because that's how they found me. People are not following you all over the place. Like, I'm not a musician or an entertainer. People aren't going to follow you around like that. And if they really need to get to you, and you have an online presence, they're going to connect with you that way. So again, I think the lesson in this is due diligence is key, and part of that due diligence is making sure that you do not miss the location of where the previous market is. I also did not reach out to them, which is something that I typically do. I typically will reach out to a new and I'm saying typically, it's been a minute, but when I was just getting into the market space, I wanted to know, like, where was your last market? That's a question that I normally ask. I did not ask any of those questions this time, simply because I don't try new venues. So that one's on me. That's on me. But for y'all, you are new to marketing, and they are showing a lot of information about the success of their markets, ask and see if they respond to you. If the markets that have been forthcoming with the details are the markets that years later, I'm still doing those markets, and years later, those markets are still being good to us. So again, y'all got to be careful for kind of the snatch and grab, right? Those application fees are non-refundable. But now you've paid for your vendor space, and something happens with the market. It's canceled, it's rescheduled, it's whatever happens, you're the one out of the money. Your business takes that hit and you eat that cost, and the host can walk away. And cite back to you that it was in the application, the vendor fee, blah, 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 all of that's non-refundable. So anyway, I don't want to scare you to like not pursue vendor markets as a means to kind of support and promote your business and sell your products. But I definitely want y'all, if you can learn from my mistakes this last time, this was my L, and I know that. But again, it was a risk worth taking because of the $40 fee. But just make sure you do your due diligence. And if you are new and you see like maybe pages that you follow, they follow the same page, just reach out to people. A question will not hurt. Either you'll get an answer or you won't get an answer. And that's my take. I would say before you spend the money, especially if your business is not making that much money yet and you're kind of new, just ask people. Ask the host, and then ask other people, what do you know about? What do you know about this event planner? What do you know about the events that they put on? You can ask questions like that. I think sometimes we feel like we would bother people, and depending on the person, the time of the day, you might bother somebody, but it's free. It's free to bother somebody. It's a quick DM, or even put it in the comments if you feel like you need to. But just make sure you understand what your commitment is, right? And that you can afford the cost to kind of gamble whether or not it's going to be a good situation for you and your brand or not. Hopefully that helps. So Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. Don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment, let me know that you watched. Share this with somebody else who is interested in doing vendor markets, or they're new to just owning a small business and they're just trying to stay afloat. That's what we do over here. We just try to keep our heads on straight. All right, y'all. I appreciate you watching the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
More than good, kinda great, even on the bad days, I thank God.